This was the mood at the Supreme Court after the final verdict. Michael Kabaziguruka, former Nakawa Member of Parliament, who in 2022 challenged his trial before the military court, was over the moon.
First and foremost, it is not a win for me, Michael Kabaziguruka. It is a win for the people of Uganda. It is a win for the democracy-seeking forces in this country.
His legal team, led by Meda Lubega Segona and Arias Lukwago, noted that this was long overdue, hailing the judges for standing strong in defending the Constitution.
And this has been used as a scarecrow to suffocate dissent in this country. So far, at least as of today, that has been crushed. That scarecrow has been brought down. We thank God. We want to thank the justices for the bold decisions.
For all intents and purposes, in its current shape now, that court cannot, it has been disbanded. It cannot continue. It has been dissolved. Because the recommendation is go back, the order, go back, amend the UPDF Act, have it reconstituted in accordance with the dictates of the Constitution.
Others who attended the court session, including the leader of opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, described the verdict as a great victory for all Ugandans.
There is no place for a military court to try civilians, and we are glad that has come through very clearly in court. We are glad that the Supreme Court has listened to the voices of Ugandans over time, because the people of Uganda have spoken again and again, and it's important that when people speak, the courts get to listen.
As the court session went on, Councillor Dislas Rakafuzi, who first represented Kabaziguruka in this matter, flanked by other lawyers and human rights defenders, observed the proceedings from his home in Makerere. Later, they broke out into jubilation as the final verdict was delivered by Chief Justice Owinyidolo. Rakafuzi, who has been indisposed for a while, hailed the Supreme Court justices for what he called a very important decision.
So we thank our courts today. I'm telling you, Ugandans, we need also to be optimistic that good things can happen in this country. Let us not condemn our country completely. Even me, I'll go back and practice. Even if I'm in a wheelchair now, I'll stand up and go back and practice before the courts.
He asked all Ugandans to continue pushing for respect of the Constitution and rule of law.
All of you, wherever you are, try your best to make sure that our Constitution is not abused and that it is followed to the letter. We shall not have rule of law if we keep quiet.
Councillor Ellison Karuhanga and the Executive Director of the Center for Constitutional Governance, Dr. Sarah Birete, who were present, shared their views on the court decision.
We have suffered this for 20 years. It's so unfortunate, but I wish to congratulate Ugandans that finally the Constitution has prevailed. Finally, our sovereignty has prevailed, and we shall not see civilians again being dragged in the military court-martial.
There have been different decisions over the years, and what the Supreme Court has done today is it has helped to clarify the position of the law, which is the duty of our apex court. It has said with finality that civilians cannot be tried in the general court-martial.
In a related development, the Uganda Law Society President Isaac Semakad said the ruling must serve as more than just a legal milestone, but rather become a catalyst for comprehensive reform, reparations, and a guarantee of non-repetition. He said the pattern of using military courts to intimidate civilians, silence dissent, and circumvent constitutional protections must end definitely. The society gave a number of recommendations to the UPDF and all security agencies, Parliament and the Executive, including release of all civilians currently held for trial in the military courts, ceasing all pending prosecutions of civilians in military courts, transferring relevant cases to civilian courts where appropriate, and reviewing and revising all internal UPDF protocols to prevent future violations. To the Parliament and the Executive, the Society called for amendment of the UPDF Act and establishing clear jurisdictional boundaries between military and civilian courts, establishing an interministerial task force to oversee implementation, and providing compensation mechanisms for victims of unconstitutional military action. It remains to be seen if any of these recommendations will be considered and adopted. I'm Benjamin Jumbe, NTV.